Hi guys, Jen here with How Jen Does It, and John is with me today. We are going to be sharing 25 ways to save money on virtually everything. So I've done lots of money saving tip videos in the past, but I asked John to join me because he can give the male perspective and share some ways that he saves money as well. My first way to save money is to have financial goals, write them down and look at them often. And the reason is that this will really help you when you see those new pair of shoes, or you see that handbag, or you want to grab a coffee or whatever. If you always have your financial goals in mind, it will help you to save money.
Since it's getting warm here in Michigan, golf is on my mind, so I started my list with golf stuff.
It's always on his mind.
Yeah, even when it's cold. But one big thing I do is I buy used golf equipment, and that goes for any sports equipment. We have places around here like Play It Again Sports.
My second way to save money is to use cash for everything. And you don't have to always keep all of your cash on you, but take cash to the grocery store, leave the credit cards and debit cards behind, and that way you just stick within your budget.
So while we're on the subject of golf, another thing that I like to do is I use a website which has an app. It's called golfnow.com, and there's another one called teeoff.com. So I bounce back and forth between those two. But the basic idea is you can book golf courses for like half to a quarter of the price.
My next one is meal plan, and I'm sure you've heard this so many times, but it really does help, because if you don't have a plan for a meal, you either stand in front of the refrigerator and then say, forget it, we're going out, or you buy a lot of random stuff at the grocery store and then you don't have enough to make the meal that you would like to make, and then you're running back and forth to the stores.
And another way you can plan in terms of food is, for me, I go out for appointments and different things for work, and I will typically pack a lunch. I know that sounds kind of old-fashioned, but it does save a tremendous amount of money. I also make my own coffee in the morning, so that saves a lot of money as well.
And to go along with that, my next tip would be to use a reusable K-cup. If you have a Keurig, or I used to have an iCoffee, and they all use the same thing, the K-cups. And those can get really expensive. So we have bought a reusable one. They are kind of hard to find. We got ours at Kohl's, and I'm sure you can probably find them on Amazon or whatever. And we just put our own coffee in there. They do have little filters that you can buy to make it easier. We usually just put the coffee in and rinse it out, but that saves quite a bit on coffee.
Another thing you can do, I was just thinking about this, it's kind of an interesting experiment, but sometimes we spend so much money because we're always out and there are opportunities to spend money. But besides your normal expenses, kind of an interesting thing to do every once in a while is go like a week without spending any extra money. Pack your lunch, make your coffee, just stay home, watch a movie or whatever, and don't spend any money for a week. Any
You're
extra.
so cute, because he's not big into like social media or watching like YouTube videos in our community. I mean, he watches mine, but that's it. But
so this is a thing?
Yeah, it's like a no spend or a spending freeze. It's like a thing.
Oh, well, that's probably because I created it. Yeah. I started a lot of trends like that.
You're so cute.
And people just don't realize it. But, so going back to my experiment.
To make it easier, you could just do a week.
Yeah, going back to my experiment that I made up. If you just do something like that, though, just on a personal level, you'd be kind of surprised like how much money stays in your wallet because you didn't spend it.
Don't buy things just because they're a good deal. So Dollar Tree. I usually just go to the Dollar Tree when I need something, because even though everything's just $1 or 2 for $1 for the cards, you can still see stuff and pile it in your basket or your cart, and then you're at $20 and it's like half the stuff you didn't need. Or if you're out thrifting, don't buy stuff just because it's only $3 and it would have normally cost $20 if you don't need it. Another way that I save money is by using the Ibotta app. And it might not seem like you would save a lot because a lot of times it's just like 25 cents at a time. But after I go to Costco, I will check on there if there are any rebates from anything that I bought, and then you just scan your receipt and then it goes to an account for you. And sometimes they have special deals where you'll get like $1 or $5, and it really does add up. And so I just leave it there and let it build. And I've already cashed in like a $55 one and like a $30-some ones. Another one is look for free fun. And we were big into this, especially when our kids were younger. John was in school, he had a different job, and the Lord provided, but we had to really stick to our budget. And we still don't like spend super frivolously or anything like go to the movies every night or anything like that, but free fun. And these are a couple of ways that we had free fun. We would go to playgrounds, find different playgrounds, play dates. Obviously, when you go to someone's house with kids, they're excited to play with their friends' toys, and then those friends are excited to play with your kids' toys, so it's just mixing it up a little bit, and you get to chat with the moms. Museums, a lot of them are free. The library can be really fun for kids, and now they have so many different programs. But also check the library for books rather than just buying them. Sorry to authors, but if you're on a tight budget, you know it can be really expensive, especially if you read a lot. So what I do, I will search my library for a book, and in Michigan, and I believe they have this in all 50 states, but I could be wrong, you can get a book from any Michigan library and they will just bring it to your public library. And you can also hold books so that if someone has it, it will be yours once it comes back to the library. Movies are the same. We have an awesome library and they have tons of movies, but I know some libraries in different cities, they don't have as many movies, but you can get them from other libraries and you can save so much by doing that, and it's all free. So definitely the library. My kids, we would go there and just get like a load of books so that we didn't have to buy them all, and just really be looking in your city for free things to do, free events, and get creative, whatever you like to do. You could have like your friends come over and everybody bring something so that the whole meal isn't on you, especially if you have friends in the same, life stage as you, which I'm sure you do. But if everybody participates, it won't be as expensive and you can still have a good time and have some relatively cheap or free entertainment.
Another thing I do and we do in general is we use coupons for everything as much as we can. So if I'm going to go out to eat, it doesn't always work, but if I have a coupon, for a restaurant, I'm going to use it. And then same applies for car repairs, oil changes, buying clothes. If I'm doing some home improvement or whatever, we're buying something, we're just always looking for coupons.
Or sales, like
sales.
Sales on appliances, or we're getting a new door soon, we think. We're still working it out, but we waited until there was a sale so that we could save that money too, instead of just running out and getting it at any random time. We look for sales and coupons.
Okay, so now I'm getting down to some of my favorite ones.
Oh.
And one of those would be Craigslist. We've mentioned before all the different things that we've purchased for our house off of Craigslist. And I know it sounds crazy, but we got our cabinets and some of our granite and our fireplace mantles and just all types of stuff. We could give you a whole list of things, but I've actually gotten to the point, and it does not always work, but if I'm gonna go out and buy something, I will actually check on Craigslist before I do that.
Just for example, I did share this in a video about saving money for things in your home, like renovations and home decor, I think it was, and I'll link that below. But we got the kitchen cabinets, and not the kitchen granite, we had to pay full price for that, but we got the granite that's in our powder room. So it all was being sold together, and one of John's friends went with him, and the guy had some other granite that our friend bought for their basement kitchen, or like a counter they were having. So you never know what people are selling. Now you do have to make sure the kitchen cabinets are going to work in your kitchen and all of that. We got the fireplace mantles and all these things, so I do have a video on that, but you just really never know what you're going to find. And I forgot about the Christmas tree. We got a 10-foot Christmas tree, and we had looked at them in the store, and they were so expensive. And
It's like a third of the price.
Yeah.
But let me say this one thing. Always meet people at a public
yes,
place.
yes, I was going to say that.
So I've heard Craigslist stories or whatever. Pretty much everybody I've ever dealt with, and it's been a lot of people, everybody's been fine, no problems. You know,
But it just takes
no
one.
issues. Yeah, but I meet in a public place. Yeah, and a lot of police stations, they have it set up where you can meet there for Craigslist transactions. So take advantage of that type of thing.
Another way to save money, and I do this all the time, is Google for coupon codes or free shipping codes all the time. I have saved so much money, and you think you're not going to find it, but usually I do. And you can also search their Facebook pages like Zoya. You guys know I get a lot of my nail polish from Zoya.com. Well, I pretty much always wait until they have a really good sale, and then I stock up. But I follow them on Facebook, and they will have their sales on there and the little code that you can use for free nail polish or such and such off. So that's another way, is follow their Facebook page. And this is a way to save money at the grocery store. So I mentioned bringing cash. I have been doing this for years and years, and when I don't do it, I always overspend, and it's keeping track of what I'm spending as I'm going. And to make it easy so I don't have to carry my list and a pen and my phone or calculator, I just write it, I like round up, write it on the side of my grocery list, cross it out, then write the next. So if it's $5, put $5. The next thing you put in your cart, if it's 7, you're at 12. The next thing is 4, you're at 16. And that way you're keeping track, and that really, really helps. So we just take our certain amount to Costco and Trader Joe's, and I keep track as we go, and then we stay within budget. So that really helps. This is a big one. Use cloth napkins instead of paper napkins.
Oh, you took mine.
And use cleaning cloths instead of paper towel. When I first started YouTube, I believe I was using paper towel, and I thought it would be really hard for me to switch over to using cleaning cloths, because I would always grab a couple paper towel, wipe the mirrors, wipe the counter, and I was always buying paper towel. And I switched over, and you guys know if you watch my videos that I use old towels and just cut them into squares, and we have probably 100, not quite 100. We
have probably about 100,000.
Yeah, we have a
or so.
lot. I keep them under our kitchen sink, upstairs where my boys' bathroom is, and then in this bathroom, our bathroom, and I use them for everything, and then you just wash them and you can reuse them. And if something's really gross and I have to clean it up, I'll clean it up and just throw it away because it was an old towel. So it's not that big of a deal. Linen napkins instead of paper napkins. We have tons of those as well, and that saves you a ton of money, and it's also a great thing for the environment and not to waste all of that paper. But we keep them in the end drawer of our island, and we have tons of them. And
obviously a lot of you watched us renovate this whole house. And during that process, I know I mentioned that we used Angie's List a lot for selecting contractors. So I try to get multiple estimates, and especially if you're doing something like a roof or siding or some really big project, it's not a bad idea to get 5 estimates, or so you can choose. Because we've had situations in the past, and we've had them just recently where, we ended up paying a couple $1,000s for something in the end, and I had an estimate for that same item that was 4 times as much as what I ended up paying.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. I like to go to Salvation Armies in our area, or You know, you might have that or different thrift stores, that type of thing in your area. I got this tripod right here for like $5 that we're
This
using.
is a super nice, slick tripod that these things are pretty expensive. And my other one broke, and he found this one, and it's in perfect, I keep staring at it.
This is the greatest tripod ever.
No, it works so much better than my other one. It's really sturdy and everything, so great find.
But it was $5, and it was. Another thing I do on a regular basis is I ask for discounts. So if I'm in a store, like let's say I'm buying tires or whatever, and I don't have a coupon or anything, when it gets down to the, you know, the price, I say something like, yeah, you know, I want to get them and everything. Can you do any better than that? And just that type of thing. And a lot of times, you know, most stores have an automatic 5-10%.
All right, my next one isn't very fun, but it's don't go to the mall or your favorite stores unless you have a plan. So don't window shop, because you aren't going to want it unless you see it. And that applied more to the days before Instagram and things, but if you're at the mall, you're going to see things that you want. But if you just don't go, then you know, you don't really see. The same goes for Target. I actually don't go to Target on a super regular basis. I just go there when I actually need something, because Target.
Yeah.
It's just like, suddenly I need all this stuff.
Yeah, I have stores like that too. I actually have this principle that I don't always follow, but usually, where if I see something that I want and I'm unsure as to whether or not I should buy it, I'll actually wait a day.
Do you do that with golf clubs?
A lot of times.
What?
Yeah, a lot of times I do. You know, it kind of depends. I have a lot of golf clubs and everything, so I don't actually need anything. You know, if you're unsure of it because of the price, or do I really need this thing, something like that, by waiting that one day, like leaving the store or, you know, leaving the website or whatever, oftentimes when you really think about it, you're like, I don't really need that.
One app that I love and use all the time is Shopular, and I've mentioned it before, but whenever I'm in line at a store, or if I remember before I go into a store, I will type in the name of the store, especially Ulta, New York & Company. They have tons of stores on there, but those are the main two. And I look for a coupon. They pretty much always have a Ulta coupon. So if you don't happen to have the printed out one in your purse, or you don't have an email for your $3.50 off, they pretty much always have coupons in there for Ulta. I was at New York & Company the other day, and I'm like, let me check. And I had found this really cute shirt. It wasn't on sale. I pulled it up on Shopular, and it was, I think, 15% off one item, and it was only good for that day. So how random is that? But I save money just by quickly looking on the app. All right, the last one, especially if you have kids, is to eat before you go places like the zoo or the movies, or I don't know if you guys have it in your area, but we had like Chuck E. Cheese and Caesarland and those places where they have like the huge thing to play on that's free, and then they have the games and all of that they charge you for, like skee ball and like all the fun. Some of them have like little tiny rides or like cars and stuff to ride on, but they get you with charging for food. So if you're really trying to save money, but you live in a place like Michigan where you can't go to the park in the winter, I would take my kids there, but we would eat beforehand, so I could go there and just spend a couple dollars, or I could go there and let them play on the play structure and not spend any money. The zoo, obviously, once you're in there, if you're hungry, you have to pay those prices. And there's nothing wrong with eating at the zoo or Caesarland or the movies or anything, but if you're on a tight budget and you still want to go to the movies, you can save some by eating beforehand. All right, guys, I hope you found some helpful tips for saving money. I would love to hear some of your favorite ways to save money. Thanks so much for watching, guys.